What is up, guys? Back again with another video, and today I'm going to be changing the gearing on my Traxxas Maxx Slash, and I'm also teach you guys a tutorial on how to do it as well. So the part that you will need for the high-speed gearing for the Maxx Slash is, in terms of the spur, it is 6438. You guys can see it right there. It is a 44 tooth hardened steel spur. Make sure you get the wide face 1.0 metric pitch. And in terms of the pinion, it's going to be a 27 tooth pinion and part number 5647. I will link both of these in the description down below if you guys are interested on changing the gearing on your guys' Maxx Slash. But the stock gearing that comes on here is a 2550. But today we're going to be putting these two on. So let's get to it. Alright, so first off, we need to take this gear cover off. So all we need is a 2.5 millimeter for this, and we need to take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you guys don't have to take off this last two piece, but I recommend this so it's a lot more easier, and also the screw here which is holding in the motor itself. So yeah, we just need to undo all those screws, and you should be able to take off the spur and replace the new spur. So I'm gonna do this off camera. Alright, so after you take off all of those screws, this should be able to lift up. So let's lift this up and away. And this gear cover is a two-piece, so there's a small piece and the main piece, so be careful of that. So put that to the side for now. And up to this point, you should be able to remove your spur. So for some reason, this actually, or it's probably just the gear covers, also the pinion and the spurs misaligned, but you should be able to take this apart and keep this a note. This is how it is assembled. So after you replace your spur, make sure to put it back like this. So stock, it is a 52 spur, and it is a steel spur. So yeah, to handle the 6S power, but to disassemble, it's pretty easy. Take the front bearing out, take this out. As you can see, in here is a little notch. So that notch is with this pin right here. So be careful of this pin. Do not lose this pin, or that will not be good. It's a lot of grease in there, so my hand does get dirty. Remove the other bearing. As you can see, there's your spur, and it's held on by 3 screws. So one here, one up there, and one on the other side. So just use a 2 millimeter to take off that and replace it with the new spur. Alright, so after you take those 3 screws, this should pop right out. So pop this guy out here. There you go. Just keep popping on each side. There you go. Until the spur comes loose. So the stock spur is a 52 spur. We're going to be going down to a 44 tooth spur. So that's 6 tooth down. So this should increase the speed by a lot. So yeah, they're both metric 1.0 gearing, but it's just 6 tooth smaller. So yeah, to know when you change this out, monitor motor temperatures and everything, because if not, you could burn up the motor or the ESC. So yeah, just keep this in note. It will be fine, but just monitor the temperature. So basically, after you take that out, as you can see on the spur, there is 3 little screws, and there are notches in there. And this notch aligns over here. It only goes one way, so you can't mix it up. There you go. Just basically push that in. Boom. You click it in and put those 3 screws back in and screw it back in. Alright, so after you screw that 3 screw back on that's holding the spur, and you should be good to go. So after this, you can reinstall your pin back. So install your pin back like this. If you replace your pinion and spur on the Traxxas Maxx before, the Maxx Slash is pretty much the same thing. So this is right here where align it with the notch with the pin. Push it back in just like that. Get your bearings. Push one in the front and grab that rear one. Boom. Do it in the rear and put it back in, and you're basically done. So that is how you replace the spur. But I'm not going to put it back in yet because we also need to replace the pinion. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Alright, so to replace the pinion, it's a little different. So on the underneath of the vehicle, as you guys flip it over, as you can see, there are 2 screws, one here and also one on that little corner here. I don't know if my camera can cut it, but there's 2 2.5mm screws in there. So take a screwdriver, take those off, and to know, after you take those off, make sure to hold the motor so it doesn't fall out. So because once you take off those screws, that's the only thing that's holding the motor in. So once you take it out, that motor will fall, so just keep that in note. But I'm gonna take out those 2 screws off camera and we'll go on from there. Alright, so as you guys can see, after you took those 2 screws out, the motor should come loose, free. And on there, as you can see on the stock gearing, it says the pin has to go in G. So this little pin right here, you guys don't want to lose that. But since I'm changing it to a 27 tooth pinion and a 44 tooth spur, Trax it says to go in the B hole. So that's what I'm going to put it on. So we're going to drop it right in the B hole right there. And I'm going to go ahead and get this pinion changed out. And to change out the pinion is pretty easily. Just take a 2mm screwdriver and unscrew that. Push the old pinion out, put the new pinion in, and you should be good to go. Alright guys, so a little bit of a false disclaimer. This pinion that I got right here does not fit on the Maxx Slash because it is a 0.8 metric pitch. So on the Maxx Slash, it is a M1, Mod 1. So look at the pinion very carefully before you go out and buy it. I made a mistake and I didn't look, so this is not what you want. So I went out to a hobby shop and luckily there was one close by. They had one left. I picked up a Power Hobby pinion gear, hardened steel 27 tooth Mod 1 with a 5mm shaft. So 5mm shaft and Mod 1 is the most important thing you look when you buy a pinion for this thing. Because what I mean by shaft is basically that hole right there. So basically, I'll just show you on here so you can see it easier. See that hole? It's a 5mm because on the Maxx Slash, and so on, the shaft is bigger because the motor shaft is a lot bigger than your standard 110 scale, which has a 3mm shaft. So just keep that in note. But we got the right one. Let's put this pinion on here, and yeah, we should be done. And before I put it back on, here's the Power Hobby pinion right next to the Traxxas one. And you guys are wondering why are there holes on the pinion, so it can make the pinion a lot more lighter than the standard Traxxas one, as you can see. So you guys can't feel them right now, but I can feel them in person. So yeah, to get this installed, and yeah, we'll go on from there. Alright, so I got everything back together. As you guys can see, the mesh is set perfect, but the pinion is not aligned with the spur. So I'm not sure to get that aligned, but I'm gonna get this aligned, and we're gonna put this thing back together, and yeah, we should be good to go. Alrighty guys, so I got everything put back together, and to know, when you put the gear cover back on, make sure that your pinion aligns with the spur gear, because that happened on my Maxx before where the pinion wasn't aligned in the middle, so I had to adjust the pinion a little bit. But yeah, without further ado, that's all about this tutorial on the installation. I do apologize for getting the wrong pinion. This is 0.8, so I'm just gonna return this. But if you guys are interested, you know, like I said, part number right here for Traxxas spur, it's 6438. I will throw this in the link in the description down below too as well. And I will throw the Power Hobby pinion down as well. You guys are interested in doing this for your Maxx Slash. So yeah, but other than else, you know, it's a pretty easy installation. If you change your pinion and spur on the Maxx Slash, it's basically the same thing. But yeah, make sure you set your mesh right, and yeah, other than else, you should be good to go. And yeah, I am going to do a speed run on this soon. I'm going to let that Loctite sit for a little bit. I know it came out of the factory with the Loctite drive rate, but I'm going to let it sit just in case for it to set. But yeah, overall, I will do a speed run on this Maxx Slash since I got the high-speed gear in there, of course. But yeah, that's going to be on another video, which is coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, without further ado, that's all about this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.